Mitchell here from 4NLWX, and here's a look at your weekend ahead. We've had a relatively cooler week, especially compared to Thursday. We had a high of 80 degrees last Thursday. This past Thursday, the 30th, stark contrast to say the least, as I transition over to the graphics here and just show you what has been going on. So, Thursday, we had a high of 54 after starting out at 35, slightly below average for this time of the year. And we only picked up, I believe we picked up like 6/10 of an inch of rainfall in the last week since we talked. And even through all that, our deficit's still grown to over 4.5 inches. So we do need some much needed rain, to say the least. Pardon me. Here's some of the conditions across Western Maryland on Thursday in terms of the highs. Oakland, we didn't even get to 50. Cumberland's the big winner at 58. Low to mid 50s across Central Maryland and the metropolitan areas of Baltimore. Same thing for the DC metro areas, Southern Maryland. Lower Eastern Shore was a little bit cooler. Only 49 at Easton. And Ocean City, same deal. It was just relatively cooler for this time of the year. And I tell you what, that's a stark contrast compared to this time last week. Weather headlines. The pattern of bad Saturday, good Sunday continues in terms of our weather. More rain, potentially, and maybe some thunderstorms on the table. We'll discuss that in a second. A cooler Sunday proceeds. Will not get as lucky as last Sunday. We had a high of, 68? And some places could be 10, 15, maybe even 20 degrees cooler compared to Saturday. And probably about 10 degrees cooler compared to last Sunday. So there's that to talk about as well. So that is what we have to discuss, and we're going to discuss that right now. Let's go to the big view and just show you what's going on. There is a moderate risk for severe weather in the areas shaded in this red-orange, and that would be two main bullseye areas, the Quad Cities and then down towards the Memphis area, the Mid-South, Jonesboro, the Blue Hill of Missouri. Also, with that moderate risk comes a big-time tornado threat. Significant tornadoes are possible. EF2 are stronger within the red-shaded areas, which pretty much correlate to the moderate risk areas that I was just mentioning. So, if you have loved ones towards Memphis or towards the Quad Cities, let them know about this risk if they haven't known already, and just keep them in mind. All right? So, with that said, we will discuss what could happen potentially with this system. That will move to the east and eventually get to us by Saturday, and that could actually trigger a couple thunderstorms if the conditions are right. So there's that, and we will discuss that right now. This is late in the day Friday, heading into early Saturday. We have that line forming. There could be some storms out in the Ohio Valley. So if you have loved ones that way, just have that in mind as well. That will be moving through our area much weaker than how it was back in the Midwest and the Ohio Valley, presumably. And maybe an embedded thunderstorm in some locations, but really I'm more concerned about just heavy downpours in embedded pockets. Maybe a rumble of thunder, because if you look at this, yes, we have instability levels that may be a little bit favorable. So take that with a grain of salt. Maybe a thunderstorm around, but I wouldn't count on it too much. And once again for Sunday, there's a stark difference between the past Sunday before. 68 was our high last Sunday. I'm only calling for a high of 50, and that's all I'm probably going to give you for that. It's going to be relatively cool for Sunday, well below average in some areas, as you will see out in urban Western Maryland in a moment, but DC suburbs, Southern Maryland, still relatively cool. I'm a little bit more concerned about the threat of thunderstorms there. Not as much as in urban Western Maryland. The instability may not be there. The dynamics may not be as apparent there as well. We might not even get to 50 on Sunday. Western Maryland, I know we're not going to get to 50 on Sunday. Relatively cool. I'm a little bit more doubtful about the storm threat It may just be plain rain for you. Eastern Shore, Delmarva, I'm a little bit more concerned for you, but Sunday's much cooler. And yeah, that's it. That's pretty much all I got for that. As I transition you back to the main camera, which should be popping up here any moment. There we go. I'm using the new system, new graphics, new everything. So forgive me here as I try to get used to everything. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got. Be safe, be good people, keep your eyes to the sky. I'm Jay Mitchell from 410WX.